Call your sponsor. Call your sponsor.
Call you
Call
sponsor.
your
Call you
sponsor.
sponsor. Call you.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your sponsor.
And we're back. Hi, Misty.
Hello, Sam.
Shall we start with a primary purpose?
Yes. Our primary
Purpose
is for Misty and Sam to grow
their friendship and maybe help
others.
So, the topic that I have been thinking and considering and feeling and experiencing a lot lately is grieving. And I guess the thing that I am learning is that there are a lot of unexpressed emotions that I haven't felt. They are unexpressed, and they come when they come, when I can get out of my own way. And that there is such thing known as a grieving process, which there are 5 stages of grief. I'll read them to you. The stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And for me, the process it's always a process. It's not an event or a party. It's not a one-time thing. It evolves and shifts. And I guess for me, it's like, as I stay sober, I just continue to be able to show up and feel and experience what comes up.
Interesting. Because I saw the topic for this and, you and I just surprise each other with what it's going to be. And so when I thought, when I saw grieving, I just automatically assumed it's about the people we've lost in the program, right? And so I find it interesting that it's like, no, it's about the emotions that we feel and, grieving, old storylines that we're having to let go of.
It's all of the above, right? I think the thing that there's losing people, there's losing positions and jobs and all of those things, friendships that no longer, when I first came around, I was removed from people, places, and things, partly by choice, partly because of geography, and I had to look at myself, because there wasn't a lot of drama and stuff happening. So like at the core is, I think my capacity to sit and feel has grown. I'm not perfect, nor do I want to be, actually, at this point.
What?
Which is,
Breaking news.
Yes, totally. Not charting, where I am in my grieving process, or, I'm simply just identifying. I'm simply just identifying. Oh, they're right. That sounds like I'm bargaining a little bit with a little tad and dash of denial.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Excel sheet come across my board. So yeah, I really like that. Have you heard the thing that was going around about the Roman Empire?
I don't think I have, actually.
Well, this woman asked her husband on TikTok, like, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And her husband was like, probably, twice a day. And she was like, what? And then so these other people started asking their partners, like, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And a surprising amount of men were like, yeah, once a day, once a week, whatever. And then it was like, well, how is that? Like, what are you thinking? Oh, just how they did their democracy and how, blah, blah, blah. And so they were asking other people, like, what's your Roman Empire? Like, what's the thing that you think of once a week or twice a week that's just really random? And one woman said old friendships that went away. And I was like, ding, ding, ding. That would be my Roman Empire, where I'm just there and I'm brushing my teeth and it's like, yeah, whatever. Why, and the grieving of these things would make that stop being a weekly or daily occurrence if I would just sit and grieve the relationship.
I have a question. So when you came in, were you in, so I'll speak for myself. So when I came in, I was shook because I knew myself as a certain person. And when being removed from people, places, and things, I didn't know who I was or what I was. And I'd also lost my job when I came in. So there was multiple things. I was physically removed from where I was into a whole nother place. I was no longer working, which was part of my identity. And I was no longer had the use and elixir of substances and booze. And so what I was faced with, it was it was a shock to my system, because I had to face me and my identity and what I thought it was.
Right. Yes. That to me was the saddest part about walking in the rooms. Not that I was an alcoholic, because honestly, I would belly up to the bar and be like, I'm an alcoholic, make it a double. Right? Like, I did not have any problem confronting that I was an alcoholic. What made me the saddest, and I distinctly remember crying with 2 weeks of sobriety on the side of the bed, an uncontrollable cry that I could not stop. And it was that I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I liked to wear. I didn't know what I liked to eat. How could I have gone 23 years in the same body and have no idea who I was? That broke my heart.
Did you have a friends group that you were then separated from, or what did that look like?
Yeah, so my people, places, and things were dark bars, and I also worked in the restaurant industry. So, I had a whole underground dark. It was always dark. You could barely see. And I had this group of friends, in quotes, that, I get sober. And one girl I said, I'm going to meetings of AA. And she was like, what are you trying to say about my drinking? And I was just like, wait, what? So confused, because I didn't understand anything. And I had no idea that I was just this huge reflection for her. I was like, those weren't the words I used. And then I really tried. They were, AA says, don't hang around the same playpen, people, places, and things. And I was like, screw y'all. So I went to the bar that I had worked at and sat at the bar, and I tried to have like a club soda and lime and hang out with my people, my friends, and immediately was so bored to tears. I mean, it felt like 8 hours had gone by, and I looked at the clock and it had been 15 minutes. I was like, how did I stay on this bar stool for 11 hours, right? This is the most boring thing, and the person talking to me, I want to punch them. It's so boring.
Oh my gosh, I love how everything was dark, Misty. And it's interesting, like, as I stay this course, like, there's been other, there's been gifts, like I was able to own, a dog, like I had pets at one point, and they were part of the process, and, and part of a huge move and all of these things, and they've since passed on. And, it's easy for me to find the next exciting thing, and I know that around their death, there was like another move. And so I was like in this exhilarated state where I wasn't necessarily experiencing grief, because it was like this move and this other thing, and it crept up on me when it was like unexpected, and I guess the thing that I'm constantly learning is this this thing called discernment, which probably should be a whole other episode, where as I get healthier, I realize that not one person can provide everything that I need, and that sometimes I'm not clear with what I actually need until I don't get what I need. And so an example for that is I was really missing one of my pets one day, and I had texted my mother, I'm really missing, the dogs. And her quick reply back was, they lived a great life. And it was in that moment I thought, oh, yeah, no, that's not what I was needing, actually. I was needing, and we talked about this in the other episode of, like the feeling, like having someone sit there, hold my hand as I feel.
Right. So much to unpack with that quick reply, which is, don't feel that way, feel this way.
100. That's what I grew up into.
And I see that's what friends, quote unquote, do for one another. Don't feel that way, feel this way. Don't think about it like that. Think this way about it. And what's happening in that is that the person on the other end doesn't want to feel bad, and they want the other person feel bad, and they want to be the solution for the other person. So to control it is, don't feel that, feel this. And that does not help the grieving process. Just kind of like it says, don't hand someone a Kleenex.
Yes. No Kleenex for you.
Grab your own motherfucking Kleenex, people.
But it all goes back to me feeling my feelings, right? When my mother she is not good with emotions. She's never been. That's what she grew up into. She has stuffed and evaded all of her emotions, albeit by feeling, the truth is that she has found a way that works for her and only works for her. And that is for her to be in complete isolation and depression. And that's what works.
Sounds fun. Sounds like a great time.
It's a one-way healing, It's a one-way healing, and it's whatever, like that's her process. And I know for me, like that is not a process that would be successful for me and in recovery as an alcoholic, an addict that rejoices in isolation. There's a difference for me between solitude and isolation. Not that I'm everyone's holding my hand all the time. There's like a balance that happens.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because I know people that need their hand held all the time.
Yes. And neediness is unattractive, as Marianne Williamson would say.
We love Miss Marianne. Okay, what else? So when you saw grieving, you thought losing a person.
Yeah, I thought of the ways that we have been here for so many years, and all the funerals that we have the opportunity, unfortunately, to attend in many different ways. Sometimes it's a natural passing. Sometimes it's they've OD'd, sometimes it's sponsees, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's a sponsor, and just the amount of grieving that we have the opportunity to feel when we're sober and in the rooms. It comes a lot with it. And, a big celebrity just passed who was very open about being in the rooms of AA from time to time for their addiction.
your sponsor.
Call you sponsor.
Your sponsor.
Call you
Call
sponsor.
your
Call you
sponsor.
sponsor.
Bitch.
Call you.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your sponsor. Call your sponsor.
New episode tomorrow. Send us an email bcysponsor@gmail.com.